Time for Dodger baseball.
Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
Clayton Kershaw pitches a no-hitter.
Turner in the air to center field. That ball's hit well. Martinez on the run. This is way back, and it is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner.
And for the second consecutive season, the Dodgers are going to the World Series.
Bellinger hammers the ball. It's Bellinger's turn. Lifts a fly ball to left center field. Back towards the wall. It is gone. Mookie with another 3-home run game.
All right, here we go. Think I fixed the audio issue. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Dodgers, Doug McCain here from the Dodgers Nation post-game show. You can follow me at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. Let's jump right into these comments, guys. Tons to get into in that wild and wacky game tonight up in San Francisco. The Dodgers fall to the Giants 10-8, and so much to get into in this one, but let's get right into these comments, guys. Fire away. So tonight, the big takeaways. One, another frustrating outing from Julio Urias. Julio Urias was not sharp again. Got Greg Wilson. Yeah, we can hear you now from Mora, loud and clear. Yeah, guys, keep firing away. Gratterall needs to close. Jerma 951 still awake today was just a nightmare. Urias was far from dominant, but what killed most were the errors. Yeah, 2 costly errors for the Dodgers in tonight's game. And let's jump right into the action. So the Dodgers tonight, those errors definitely cost the Dodgers, but really the Dodgers couldn't manufacture runs and just couldn't give the death blow. They had them on the ropes, and they couldn't get those insurance runs late in the game. We're going to break down the entire game, but let's kind of focus on the 8th inning on. So first, Ferguson comes in. He stays in for the 8th, and the Giants, they get a base runner for five straight innings, the Giants had base runners. So Crawford, he hits a chopper to Seager, and that was deflected on the mound. A fortuitous bounce for the Giants, and then he punches out Dubon with some high cheese, and then he falls behind 2-0. Then he battles back, goes full, and then he gets some swing out, some more high cheese, and then he gets Yaz top of the zone with some high heat. He was really fantastic tonight. Caleb Ferguson came in, he pitched well, and then in the ninth. So the ninth inning, Kike. In the ninth inning, the bottom of the ninth inning, that's kind of where it all began. So in the bottom of the ninth inning, Kenley Jansen comes into pitch. Evan Longoria flies out to left, 1 out, starts off the inning right, and then Belt goes deep on Kenley. He ties things up, and he pulled a cutter right down Broadway. So if you looked at the velocity tonight with Kenley Jansen, it was sitting at 89 to 91, and he had been better in that department when it comes to giving up home runs. Last year, he gave up 9 home runs. In 2018, 13 home runs. He was sitting at 1.3 home runs per 9, and it was his first blown save of the year. He gets Solano swinging, gets Bart swinging on a slider, and then, like I said, 89-91 down the middle of the plate, and Bell did that to take the game into extra innings. And I got news for you. Look, Kenley Jansen, I know that you guys are going to give me some rational observations on Kenley Jansen tonight, but look, Kenley Jansen has been lights out for the majority of this year. He was due to have his first blown save. Unfortunately, it came in tonight's matchup against the Giants, and the Giants are currently rolling. But I got news for you. He wasn't going to get 84 consecutive saves like Eric Gagne, but that velocity, it was down. He didn't hit him. He wasn't hitting his spots there, but here we go. Josh Ortega, yeah, exactly. Kenley left one over to a hot hitter. Can't blame the loss to that. Larry Garcia, we need to lose so we can get our butts chewed out. Train Ferguson is lights out. Ferguson is lights out. He was my Dodger dog of the night. The tenacity and fire with Caleb Ferguson. He's punching guys out. 11 strikeouts to just 1 walk this season. He looks like a real asset coming out of that bullpen. Urias blew this from Eliza. Jess, Jordan, yes. Shannon, I am very sad. Hey, but if you're going to lose a game, I would rather lose one now and to lose it today that the Padres lost. So the Padres are still 4 games behind. Exactly. The Padres dropped tonight's matchup. So the Dodgers still have the best record in all Major League Baseball at 23-9. But seriously, folks, try to find the silver linings in this one so you don't lose it. Yeah, some of the silver linings, we can start there if you want. Cody Bellinger is starting to heat up. Cody Bellinger, another 3-hit game for Cody Bellinger. He goes 3 for 6 with a double. And then Justin Turner. Justin Turner did everything he could to jumpstart the offense there late. He avoids that tag from Rogers. That should have been it. And then Dennis Santana, he's really been the weak link out of the bullpen if you want to find one as far as ERA goes and home runs. But Greg Wilson, Giants being our first-round opponent, scare me. Me too. You don't want to play your rival because that's where you throw out the records. You throw out the records in that one. It's anyone's game. And this Giants team, they can score runs. They definitely can score runs. It's a matter of do they have the pitching to beat the Dodgers? But you're talking about you only have to beat the team twice. It's a 3-game series. Any team in Major League Baseball can win a 3-game series, especially when it's your rival. Especially when it's your rival. All the belly flops by Turner for nothing. Yeah, Bobby Rogers. Now let's break down this game a little bit more here, guys. Keep firing away in the comments section. Who do you pin tonight's loss on? Is it Julio Urias? Is it Kenley Jansen? Was it the offense not getting enough insurance runs late? The Dodgers had multiple opportunities to get a cushion, to add some insurance runs, but the Dodgers were unable to get anything going late other than the go-ahead runs there. Weren't able to put any crooked numbers up. They go 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position, stranded 11 base runners. Santana from Brian Vogel. Yeah, Dennis Santana tonight. Dennis Santana goes 2/3 innings pitched, gives up 2 runs on 2 hits with 1 strikeout, 15 pitches, 9 of them for strikes. So he wasn't in command of his pitches, wasn't painting the strike zone with strikes. But Dave Roberts and Kenley Jansen from George, Greg Wilson need to cut down on the errors, making multiple per game. Yeah, Kike Hernandez, that's supposed to be his bread and butter, is his ability to play sparkling defense. But unfortunately, the Dodgers, too many errors tonight cost them, and it was definitely a factor in tonight's game. Because look, it was a tight game throughout. The Dodgers, they got on the board early on there in the top of the first. So the top of the first inning, the Dodgers Mookie gets called out on strikes. Seager singles on a live drive to second. Justin Turner doubles over Yastrzemski, and then Bellinger flies to right for the second out. And then the birthday boy, Max Muncy, with 2 on, 2 outs. He hits a 3-run shot to give the Dodgers a 3-0 lead. And, hey, that was a big shot by Max Muncy into that bullpen. It wasn't into McMuncy Cove like he hit into it last year, where he goes and he tells Madison Bumgarner to get out of the ocean. But a big shot puts the Dodgers up 3-0, and you thought it was going to be one of those nights. We've seen the Dodgers put up so many runs. 12 hits for the Dodgers tonight. Also 11 strikeouts for the boys in blue tonight. So Seager should have gotten Bart at third. Yeah, that's from Pudge. I think so, too. I think that you could have got the lead runner there. And it was definitely, look, I thought maybe you go for the sure thing, but that was definitely let Ferguson start from Train. I think he's built for the bullpen. Shannon replying to Sanjay Marwa, the Giants always play the Dodgers hard, and tonight is no different. We need Bauer and J.D. Martinez now from Chris Baptiste. I don't think so. I don't think that you necessarily have to jump to any trade conclusions after this one. The Dodgers offense is still explosive. They're still leading all of Major League Baseball in runs scored. The Dodgers are averaging over 5.7 runs per game. Tonight, they scored enough runs to win. Julio Urias, unfortunately, has not looked the part of the number that he has not looked the part as the number 3 starter of this team. So the bottom of the first inning, for Julio Urias, those first inning woes reared their ugly head again. I mean, the first inning struggles are real for Julio Urias. A 7.20 first inning ERA and a 1.50 ERA after that. His third inning ERA sitting at 4.5. So it's the first, it's the third. I don't know if it's these odd numbers, but he comes down the first. He strikes out Yaz swinging on 3 pitches, walks Wilmer Flores. Evan Longoria hits a line drive to single to center, and the hottest hitter in the hottest hitter in the lineup, Brandon Belt, he belted a 3-run shot off Urias, and that home run was a bad sign for Julio Urias because he just missed his spot right there. He just wasn't there. He wasn't where Will Smith wanted it, and he wanted it low and away. It drifted into the center there, and it caught too much of the plate. He cranked it out, and Julio Urias starts up. They tie things up at 3 there. And then he gets Solano swinging, and then he gets Joey Bart swinging on a back foot curveball. So the thing about Julio Urias is it's so there. You can see the talent's there. The talent and ability is there. It's just the lack of focus and lack of command early in games. Now, I don't know what they need to do with Julio Urias, but I think they need to consider changing up his pregame warm-up routine. I don't know if it's an extended bullpen session, a pregame warm-up, getting to the stadium 2-3 hours earlier than he is now, but something is just not right in that first inning. He does not look mentally dialed in like he should be. And then the bottom of the second inning, Darren Ruff doubles to left. Brandon Crawford pops to first. Dubon grounds to short. So the thing is, amid his struggles, he's still inducing soft contact at an elite level. And then man to second, 2 outs, 2 strikes. He freezes Yaz with a strikeout on the outside corner to get out of the jam. So 4 strikeouts through 2 innings for Urias. So if he can just dial it in and harness his abilities, Julio Urias can still pitch for this team in October. He can still be a member of the starting rotation. But here we go. Francisco, I love the Dodger Dogs plus baseball. There we go. Kershaw would destroy the Giants. Here for the overreactions in chat. Hey, you got to overreact, right? Hey, when you're 23-8, now 22 in, if you're now 22-9, if you're the Los Angeles Dodgers, you've had the best record in Major League Baseball. It's a little bit of a wake-up call for this team to know this team is not invincible. This team is not a team that is perfect. It's not a team that doesn't have its flaws. And tonight you saw the Dodgers, they did a lot of good things, but also it was just a wacky game up in San Francisco, and they lose it. Tomorrow you got Clayton Kershaw going and Walker Buehler the next day. So the Dodgers still haven't lost a series all season long, and I don't anticipate them losing this one to the San Francisco Giants. But give this Giants team credit. They're a gritty bunch up there. And they've got guys that can hit in the middle of the lineup. Look what they did. They got Yaz to go 0 for 6 today, Flores goes 0 for 5, and then Evan Longoria, he was smoking the ball all night long, and so was Belt. So the teeth of that lineup was getting it done tonight for the San Francisco Giants. I don't think they pose a threat in a 5 or 7 game series, but a 3-game series, the Dodgers have to be on high alert, I'm telling you. So the top of the third inning, the Dodgers got back to their scoring ways. Corey Seager puts the Dodgers back on top on a 3-2 count. He takes a Johnny Cueto fastball deep, 92 miles per hour in the inner half, and he just crushed it into the Giants' new bullpen. 447 feet, 113 miles per hour. And then Justin Turner, he singles to left. Bellinger doubles to right. And then ball 4 to Max Muncy was a wild pitch, scoring Justin Turner, making it 5-3 Dodgers. So they get another run there on a Justin Turner on a wild pitch, and then runners on the corners and 1 out. A.J. Pollock hits a rocket shot to Longoria for the 2nd out, and that brings up Jock Peterson with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. And on a 3-1 count, Jock turns on a cutter up and just rips it to right field. So it rips it right inside the right field line, scoring Bellinger. An RBI double gives the Dodgers their 5th extra base hit of the game. So the Dodgers, it looked like early on, those bats were going to slug all night, and the Dodgers were going to have another convincing win. I thought it was going to be double digits, but then the bats cooled off significantly after that inning, but they reclaimed the lead in the 3rd, tacking on 3 hits, a deep fly by Seager, a single by JT, a double by Bellinger, and another double by Jock Peterson. And the Dodgers were hitting breaking stuff. They were getting extra base hits off curveballs and changeups from Johnny Cueto, so that was promising. And then back to let's jump back into these comments. Let's jump back into these comments. I just hate the Giants, especially lose to the trash team. I love the Dodger Dogs plus baseball. From Francisco, we got Patrick Gagne. Dodgers will step it up, put tonight's game in the rearview mirror, and focus on the next 2 games versus the Giants. They won't pitch Urias in a 3-game playoff. That's from Patrick Cullen. I think that's possibly a fact right there. I don't disagree with you. I don't hate that assertion by you on that one. I think that is a strong possibility right now if he continues to pitch the way he's pitching at the moment. He's just really not getting it done, not taking care of business out there as he should. But the enticing thing about Julio Urias is his ability to get strikeouts. So bottom of the 3rd, he gets Flores swinging on 3 pitches, fastball, changeup, fastball, and then Urias loses Crawford on a 3-2 count. He misses inside with a fastball for a leadoff walk, and then Urias once again did not have that command, and he was missing with his fastball high for ball 4 to Belt, so he walks Belt, and then back-to-back walks to start the 3rd. So back-to-back walks. When you dig yourself in that kind of hole, I don't care how great a pitcher you are. I don't care how nasty your stuff is. It's not filthy enough to get out of jams inning by inning like that, and you saw in that inning it was enough. So you never want to walk back-to-back guys, but give Julio credit because he dug himself out of that again, and I don't know what it is with Julio Urias. He just thrives when the pressure starts cooking. He's got runners on, and it's almost like that's when he kicks into gear. So it's just so frustrating to watch Julio Urias pitch right now because you see the potential out there. He's just not delivering. And the 4th inning, Julio gets rough to ground out into the shift up the middle, but Kike, you guys were mentioning the errors earlier. Kike, he was unable to control that, an E on 4, and then Crawford bangs 1 to left, giving the Giants runners on 1st and 2nd, no outs. And then he misses with a breaking ball to Dubon. Then he gets Dubon to chase a changeup for his 6th punch out of the night for the 1st out. Then one gets past Will Smith, and it gets stuck under the padding. Ruff and Crawford advance on the wild pitch. Then he gets Yaz to pop to 3rd, Flores to line to left. So again, Urias pitching with traffic all night long, gets out of the jam, and that's why I think that Julio Urias might be better suited for the bullpen, because you saw him this game. You put runners on base, he can get you out of that jam. He can come in and put out the fire. He's just not getting it done as a starter. So don't give up on Julio Urias and trash him saying that, oh, he's a guy that didn't live up to the hype. He's supposed to be this phenom that's supposed to be this frontline 1-2 starter. But hey, he's a guy that can still be an asset out of the bullpen. And when you have Tony Gonsolin performing like he is and Dustin May in a playoff series, I think Julio Urias ends up in the bullpen at some point. And based on how he pitched tonight, it looks like that skill set is perfect for it. So here we go, Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin. By the way, who are your top 4 starters? Let me know. Or who's your number 3? Let's first start with this one. Who, in a 3-game series, who are your 3 starters for the Dodgers? Because I'm going with Clayton Kershaw in Game 1, Walker Buehler in Game 2, and Tony Gonsolin in Game 3. Tell you why in a second, but let me know down below in the comments. Who would you go with? Give me your 3 starters for the NLDS. Look, we're only less than 29 games away from the postseason. This season is flying by. Before we know it, we're going to be previewing postseason games. From Chico, Jansen sucks. Dustin May, Game 3 from Harold. Gratterall better than Santana. Kirsch, Buehler, Gonsolin. That'd be my pick right there. Doug Crosby as well. So we're in agreement on that one. But here we go. Back into the top of the 5th. So Justin Turner, he gets his 3rd hit of the night on a sharp line drive to center, and that was it for Cueto. So the Dodgers, they had the game plan to get Cueto out of the game. What's the recipe for success against Johnny Cueto? You put runners on base. You force him to pitch out of the stretch. He can't do all that herky-jerky, quirky stuff he likes to do with those quick pitches. And then Bellinger, he gets an infield single, hit it to Donovan Solano, but he can't make the throw in time to get Bellinger. By the way, Cody Bellinger, just so you know, is the fastest Dodger. He's the fastest player on the Los Angeles Dodgers, 50th in the league in sprint speed at 28.2. But then Muncy pops to Longoria for the first out of the inning. Pollock grounds into a double play to end the threat. And then from then on, there wasn't much offense for the Los Angeles Dodgers until the extra innings. And that's when it got interesting for the Dodgers pitching staff, for the bullpen. So the 7th inning, Longoria hits a rocket shot to right that went off of Muncy, and he was scorching the ball all night long. Like I said, it was a one-hopper that goes through Max Muncy, and then Belt singles on a line drive to center. Solano hits a ground ball to Muncy that was hit hard, but then Muncy was a little banged up on the play. And you saw that. I think that we're going to have to see how Max Muncy is because, like all players, they're going to say they're fine, like Edwin Rios did a couple weeks ago. He ended up on the injured list with a strained hamstring. So we'll see how Max Muncy is. By the way, if you're watching this show on Twitter, be sure to retweet. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to share so all your Dodger friends can join in here on the action on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. So in that inning, it goes bases loaded, no outs, and then Bart grounds one up the middle. Kike stepped on the bag a second, but the throw was high, and he was ruled safe. So another error by Kike Hernandez, and it was a high throw. He was ruled safe, but then they overturned it. They overturned it because it was a great play by Max Muncy, who was able to step on the bag, but the Giants still get the run, and they pull within 1 at 6-5, and that was it for Blake Trinan on the night. And then in comes Caleb Ferguson. Mash that heart button for Caleb Ferguson, my Dodger dog of the night. He was fierce. He was tenacious out there, and he is pitching with a lot of swagger on the mound. Caleb Ferguson is going to be money for this Dodgers team. He's got the velocity. He's working his breaking stuff in there, and he's a bad man on the mound this year. A .79 ERA, 1 earned run, 11 strikeouts to just 1 walk. He puts out the fire, stays in for the 8th, and then in the top of the ninth, Kike flies to right, Will Smith walks, and then Mookie gets his first hit of the night, his 999th hit of his career. And then Berger comes in to pitch to Seager, and that was it. The Dodgers couldn't capitalize, and we are almost into extra innings. But here we go. Let's jump back into these comments. Michelle Carter, how you doing tonight, Michelle? We got Train. How do you lose to the Double-A Giants? Hey, the Giants, you got to start respecting the Giants, not as a franchise or a team, but this version of the Giants, you can't take them lightly in a 60-game season when you could potentially face them in a first-round matchup. The Giants, the Dodgers, they love to knock each other off. Just ask Mike Piazza and the Dodgers in 1993 when the Dodgers kept the Giants from the postseason that year. 8 runs are fool's gold from Jose Rod. Real juice. We got Christopher Lyon replying to I think you guys are talking among yourselves. I like it. So in the bottom of the 9th, this is where Kenley Jansen, he blows the save. Then in the 10th, so Bellinger strikes out, called strike, took a big cut on a slider, and then took a 94 miles per hour fastball for strike 3. And he's been seeing the ball much better. Not sure why he left the bat on his shoulder on that pitch. He goes down, and then Max Muncy takes a high inside for ball 4. So the Dodgers, they took the lead on a pass ball. So this play was pretty loaded with comedy. I mean, Dodgers take the lead on a pass ball by Joey Bart, and he was definitely a cross-up on the play. The ball hits him right in the arm, then in his face, and then he botches the throw to left field. That throw to left field was off. It was like when you're playing Madden and you press the wrong button and it ends up in the stands and you have the cardboard cutouts ducking. It was just not a good throw, a real welcome to the show moment for Bart on that one. So a catcher, a pass ball, a wild pitch there, and really a tough night for Bart all night long. He goes right to the backstop, and he just straight whiffed it. He threw it away, and then you thought, yes, the Dodgers are going to steal one back, and they're going to take the lead, and they're going to go home with a W and win their 5th straight game. And then Pollock is intentionally walked. Chris Taylor strikes out, and then Kike reaches on a fielder's choice to load the bases with 2 outs. And then Will Smith strikes out with the bases loaded. So the Dodgers tonight, they were striking out. This year, the Dodgers averaging about 7 strikeouts per game, a little over 7 strikeouts as a team per game. Tonight, the Dodgers, 13 strikeouts in 11 innings. So they were getting punched out tonight more than they usually do, and that definitely was a factor. They weren't able to add more runs late and get that cushion they needed to take this game. So they didn't really deserve to win this game, right? Urias, shaky start. Trinan didn't get the job done. Your closer blows a save in Kenley Jansen. Yet they still had an opportunity to steal one late. Unfortunately, you can't win them all, and the Dodgers lost tonight 10-8. They fall to the Giants, and they are still in command in the NL West. The Padres lost tonight, so the Dodgers out in front in the NL West and in the National League. Still the best record in all of Major League Baseball. So in the bottom of the inning, then in the next inning, the bottom of the 10th inning. So Duggar grounds the Seager, and they had a chance to get Bart. At third, but they went with the sure out at first, and then he strikes out Crawford on 3 pitches. Three beautiful sinkers from Scott Alexander right there. And then Dubon singles to left. A great effort by JT, but the run scores, tying things up at 7. Justin Turner did everything he could, got the stop. There was really no play to be made whatsoever. And then they get Yaz to fly to center for the 3rd out. So you think if you're the Dodgers and you get Yastrzemski to go 0 for 6, you got to believe you have a good chance of stopping this Giants offense. Unfortunately, they were able to put up 10 on the Dodgers in 11 innings. But let's hop back into these comments discussing performance by the Dodgers today from Train. John, nonetheless, it was a fun game. Too bad we lost, but they will learn from this, from John. Exactly. It was a fun game. It was a weird, quirky game. A lot of interesting plays there. A lot of plays you don't see every day. And a lot of plays that kind of left your head scratching. And a great test for the Dodgers and a great sign and a message from the Giants. Look, the Dodgers are now, the Dodgers are now 3-8 against the Giants this year, and they have an overwhelming advantage when it comes to run differential against this team. But certain teams have your number, and I hate to say it, but this year's Giants are really a thorn in the Dodgers' behinds, if you know what I mean, because they make things tough, and tonight was another example. So then in the top of the 11th inning, Mookie flied out. Then Corey Seager grounds the second, advancing Smith to third. And then with 2 outs, Turner hit a soft ground ball to Rogers. And I love this play. He hits a soft ground ball to Rogers, and then he tried to tag him before Turner just hopped over him. He just, like I said, he jump-started the Dodgers offense in that inning. And you saw the exit velocity. The exit velocity was 47 miles per hour. The launch angle was, like negative something. But a great play, a heads-up play by Justin Turner. He hurdles them, and he gives the Dodgers the lead. And then Cody Bellinger, he bangs a line drive into right field for a base hit over a leaping Solano for Bellinger's 3rd hit of the night. And that gives the Dodgers runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. And they were unable to add runs again. So the Dodgers, 2 for 20 with runners in scoring position. They could have buried the Giants on multiple occasions tonight. They were unable to, and they take the loss tonight 10-8 by the rival San Francisco Giants. So then the walk-off shot right there in the bottom of the 11th. And you just got to you got to tip your cap a little bit right there, because he goes deep again at the end of that inning. So The Giants take the lead. Here we go. You can't give teams opportunities. Roberts is always pulling Gratterall, low-key funny. Yeah, they're really sensitive with Brusdar Gratterall. And by the way, I really don't enjoy these interviews very much, but the Mookie one was cool. It was cool to see Brusdar Gratterall there. His likability is off the charts. Dodger fans are in love with the bazooka, and for good reason. And the Dodgers appear to have the bubble wrap around Brusdar Gratterall to an extent, and they're very careful with him. Can't hit with runners in scoring position every year. But look, the Dodgers are hitting 300 with runners in scoring position in this stretch where they've won 11 of 12 games. They're hitting over 450 with runners in scoring position. So they have come through in that department during this streak and throughout this year. So that's not something, and yes, it has been a factor in the past with the Dodgers offense, but this year they've been able to come through. So Train is hyped tonight. All caps. Ease up. No, keep coming with the caps button, man. Let it all out. That is what this show is for. I'm the man of the fan, Doug McCain. If this is your show, I'm just hosting it. Give me all your Dodger takes right down below in the comments. How would you guys grade Julio Urias' performance tonight? I thought, look, Walker Buehler, he had his best performance of the year in his last game. I thought that this was the night that Julio Urias, going on the road against the Giants, I thought he was going to have a better performance, thought he was going to be more consistent. I thought that command was going to be there tonight, and it wasn't. Wasn't the worst performance. He didn't get rocked. He still goes 4+ innings, which you'll take it. It was, he didn't get rocked in the first inning, but 4 runs on 6 hits, 79 pitches, 55 for strikes, and his ERA now up to 3.67, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, and like I said, another frustrating outing for Julio Urias. 16 for 22 on first pitch strikes, 11 swings and misses. He fanned Yaz, and the thing too, if you want to find a silver lining, is he was getting big swings and misses with all of his major pitches, all of his big pitches, his out pitches, his curveball, his changeup. When he was locating that fastball, he was missing bats out there. He just wasn't doing it consistent enough to go deep into this game and give the Dodgers a chance not to go deep into their bullpen like they have in the last few starts with Julio Urias. It wasn't as bad as the Mariners outing where he didn't even go 2 innings, but he's really taxing this bullpen every time he gets a start out there. So give me your grades for Julio Urias. I like that, Harold. I like that. Brighten up my day right there. Every day is a good day to be a Dodger fan. Jose Rod, Dodgers lost and the stupid Clippers won. Bad day. I feel you on that. The Seattle, the outcasts of Los Angeles sports, the LA Clippers. QQQ for Eric Ayala. Interesting grading system there. Yeah, the thing is, like I said, you use lots of swinging strikes. The swinging strike to get Flores, struck out Dubon with a filthy change. That was a nice pitch. And he was missing bats with his fastball and his breaking strikes, his breaking stuff. But it just wasn't enough. He needs to find a way to throw strikes. If I'm Julio Urias, just throw strikes. That has got to be his mantra moving forward because he has all the tools. He has the pitches to be a top 3 pitcher on a World Series contending team. But unfortunately, if you don't have the command, it's just not going to happen for you. You need the command. You need to harness it to be able to be effective. And unfortunately for Julio Urias, another rough outing. 3 walks. He walked consecutive batters to start the second or third inning, I believe, tonight. So 79 pitches. He has just not looked the part. I was really hoping by this point, the midpoint of the season, he'd be ready to take that step forward, turn the corner, and be the pitchers the Dodgers need him to be. So the Dodgers offense tonight, striking out more than usual, but they get 12 hits, 5 walks, and tonight the Dodgers 13 strikes to 5 walks for the Dodgers. This team, they feast on fastballs, you know that, but both the home runs off Johnny Cueto, those came off fastballs. They put nice swings on breaking stuff. So give the Dodgers credit. They put some nice swings on breaking stuff tonight. Turner singled on a change, Belly doubled on a curveball, Jock doubled on a curve. So we know that hitting lefties and breaking stuff isn't the Dodgers' strength, but they're getting better in that department. I think that the Dodgers offense tonight, like I said, they did enough to win, but when your starter is consistently going out there and not getting past the 5th inning, you're taxing that bullpen. A big test for Dennis Santana tonight. Unfortunately, he did not pass it. He goes 2/3 innings pitch with 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and 1 strikeout. So he needs to improve Start Ferguson now, Dave. Start Ferguson. Still an interesting game from Harold. Can we bring A.J. Ramos up? I've been thinking about that myself. How does A.J. Ramos look? He's a former All-Star, and when he's on, he's filthy. He's definitely someone you want to consider, but he's a guy who's coming off a big shoulder surgery. But, look, this is Andrew Freeman knows what he's doing. He's a guy that knows how to shop for bargain bin. He knows how to shop the bargain bins, and he knows how to dust them off, and he knows how to and he knows how to get guys, and he knows how to get value out of guys. Look at Jake McGee. He came in today throwing straight fastball. He's a fastball machine. He's gotten it done. You saw what he's found in Brusdar Graterol. If he's ready to go, I think the Dodgers might consider bringing him up there, but here we go. I saw we got Urias C- from Patrick Gagne. Harold, Kirsch, and Butane going to take care of business. Yeah, Kershaw, he's pitched well all season. Clayton Kershaw, save for that Giant start, the Diamondback start, that was fantastic. What he did against the Angels was vintage Kershaw, right? Clayton Kershaw was pitching at his best, and then what he did up in Seattle without the velocity, hitting 93, 94, he was just commanding his fastball, and he was hitting with that Cooperstown curve and that vicious slider. So Clayton Kershaw and Walker Buehler going back-to-back with double-digit strikeouts. Hopefully we see that in this series, and the Dodgers take 2 of 3 from the Giants to save face and avoid dropping a series like they have all season long. But here we go. I don't care what it takes from Train. We got, can we trade for Bauer from Alexander Rose after him, or go after him, please? That would be our second starter or third, no doubt. It's an interesting take. It's something that you might want to consider. Look, his value, it's a walk year for Trevor Bauer. He said he's always wanted to be a Dodger, went to Hart High School, he went to UCLA. Checks off a lot of boxes as far as a local. Rock the free Joe Kelly cleats, or at least try to, before Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball ruined that again. And then he has brought the smoke to the Houston Astros. He is not afraid of the Houston Astros or to talk that talk. So he could give the Dodgers rotation an edge, but it could be a case of Bauer beware with Trevor Bauer. Do you want him to come in and cause a rift in this Dodger locker room? I personally think the Dodgers have the leadership and the clubhouse leaders to keep him in check. I don't think he would be a problem. I think, like Real FRG said, the senior editor of Dodgers Nation and one of the hosts of the Blue Heaven podcast, if you look deeper into the certain things that people if you look into some of the issues that people have with Trevor Bauer, if you do a deep dive, you realize the perception doesn't really meet the reality with him because, look, yes, he had some run-ins with some people on social media, but if he can help you win a World Series and you can get him without having to give up any prize prospects, I would definitely take a flyer on Trevor Bauer. I would definitely take a flyer on Trevor Bauer, and I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, Trevor Bauer, in his postseason career, 26 innings pitched, a 3.81 ERA. Yes, he got rocked by Houston in the 2018 NLDS. He had a 6.75 ERA in that series. But, of course, they were stealing signs. How can you trust that? And this year, his stuff is playing up. Yesterday, gave up some home runs. But Trevor Bauer has been lights out, and I love his post-strikeout celebrations. He did the beer. He did the Connor walk. Hey, look, I know he's not for everyone. Everyone has an opinion on Trevor Bauer, but I think along with Fernando Tatis and Trevor Bauer, I think having an opinion on a baseball player is great for the game, and he's one that people like to talk about. And I think that if it was my choice, if they could get Trevor Bauer for a reasonable trade package and Cincinnati's going down the tank, I think you consider it because – one, he can help this team. He can be a top 3 pitcher, no doubt about it. He fits the mold as far as stuff that plays up in the postseason. We're talking 97, 98, high spin rate, a guy that can miss bats. He can throw it by guys. And then also, you keep him away from any potential competitors. Look, the Atlanta Braves are in search of a frontline starter. Soroka went down. And I think that they're definitely a team that's going to be in the market for a frontline starter. So if Andrew Freeman can go Andrew Fleeceman for Trevor Bauer, I would definitely take a flyer on it. There's no question about it. I'm trying to raise that Commissioner's Trophy and end this World Series drought. And if you can make this team better, without us having to lose any prize prospects, I don't see any reason why not. Now, I do think the Dodgers don't need to make a trade. I don't think they need to trade anyone. They have the depth, they have the arms, but after what we saw today with Julio Urias, I think Julio Urias is better suited for the bullpen. You see how he pitched tonight with runners on. His focus kicked up a notch. He was getting guys out, and he can be a lefty weapon that could give you extended relief out of the bullpen. So David Price, he opted out of the season, and then Tony Gonsolin and Dustin May. Can they sustain this for the next month to 2 months? We'll see. But, hey, Trevor Bauer, I think the Dodgers stand pat. You saw Andrew Freeman. I don't think there's going to be a big splash, like a get-out-of-the-ocean level splash. I think it'll be a little pond in a lake type splash, but if you ask me, would I explore it? I definitely would. How do you guys feel about Trevor Bauer? Let me know down below in the comments. Would you want him on the Dodgers? Yes or no? Let me know down below in the comments. Me, I would take him. I think Trevor Bauer gives the Dodgers a certain edge, and you can never have enough starting pitching in the postseason, and I don't think this Dodger team needs any bats. I think that, look, you want to talk about left-handed pitching, I understand the Dodgers have had their issues with left-handed pitching, but I think they have guys that you can throw in there. Look, if they really have an issue, I think you could put Matt Beatty at that DH spot. He's hitting 400 against lefties this year. It's a small sample size, and then you have guys that it's going to turn around. Look, hey, Austin Barnes hitting 357 against lefties this year. Max Muncy, he's hitting 188 against lefties. Chris Taylor is hitting. Chris Taylor this year. Don't have his lefty numbers, but Chris Taylor is a guy. Jock Peterson, of course, he's hitting 167 against lefties this year. Mookie Betts, for his career, those splits are going to start evening out. So I'm not totally worried about adding another right-handed bat to go against left-handed batters. I think the focus needs to be on a starting pitcher if you're going to make one, because then you add him, and then imagine trading for Julio Urias as a bullpen piece, because that's essentially what that is. But halfway through the season, I think that at this point it is definitely time to consider all of our options when it comes to Julio Urias. I don't think, after what I'm seeing, maybe a couple more starts. Look, Alex Wood, he's not coming off the injured list at any point before the end of this month. Still has that shoulder inflammation. Joe Kelly, he's been on the IL since August 10th with shoulder inflammation. His return, it's not even imminent, and he still has to serve that. So then he has to serve that 5-game suspension, which was absolutely bogus. Give me a hashtag free Joe Kelly down there in the comments. But here we go. I want to hear what you guys have to say about him. Chris's Buns, take him, want him. We don't have to trade, though, for Michelle Carter. I love Bauer from Brian. I love his attitude, and he's a good pitcher. We need a little attitude on this team. Hey, an edge does not hurt. A guy that, one, he comes in, and he has everything to play for. He's a guy that would come in, and he's a guy that wants to get that bag. He wants to get that big contract in the offseason. So he's a guy that has the incentive to come in and, one, be on his best behavior, and two, pitch lights out and get this Dodger team to a World Series and help get this team over the hump in October. So I wouldn't put it past Andrew Freeman, and like I said, you want to keep him away from other potential rivals like the Atlanta Braves, other teams that are searching for starting pitching. The Mariners, I was reading today about the Mariners being big sellers. So there are teams, I think that, look, everyone's saying, oh, it's not going to be a very active market, but I do think that there's going to be some bluffing out there. Guys will want to improve. I wouldn't sell the farm for Trevor Bauer, but considering that he has no team control left, he's going to be a free agent. There's no way that he's going to, unless you get into a bidding war against another contender, he's a guy that's not going to require a big package of elite prospects. But here we go. Starting pitching is a major concern. Hashtag free Joe Kelly. I like that from Eric. Trevor is too busy YouTubing on his Momentum channel. Bobby Rogers replying to Trevor Sim, it's clearly you've been waiting all season to pounce on him. Did he bang your old? I must have missed that one. Kyle Seager, ask him if they want Jock. Look, Jock Peterson, he's not. Tonight he actually had a better night. Jock Peterson, he goes Jock Peterson goes 1 for 4 tonight. Heading into tonight's matchup, Jock Peterson, he's been a member of the Going Through It gang for a couple days now. And Jock Peterson, unfortunately, his last 7 heading into tonight, he was 4 for his last 17. So he's now 5 for his last 21 with a home run and a double. So Jock Peterson, in August, he's hitting a .175. He is hitting 308 with runners in the scoring position. But, is he helping his trade value? I don't think so. Is he a guy that has team control left that would entice teams to want to give up someone for him? Maybe you include him in a package as a win-now guy, but then if you keep him, he's someone that he can get hot for you, and he can hit that home run in a big game. He's shown he can do that. He showed that in 2017. So he hasn't showed out much this year. But LA Original, I hate this extra inning rule. Thanks for bringing that up, because I liked it when we won in extra innings, but I'm not a fan of it when we lose. Because, look, you want to end the game quicker. That game would have been over had it not been for having a runner on second. It is exciting. It's an interesting spin, but to me, I think it's a little gimmicky, and I don't think you change the rules of baseball. Look, to me, I care more about the actual rules of baseball than the unwritten rules, and I think the unwritten rules, a lot of them are bogus, but to me, you don't change the game. You don't add a pitch clock. You don't change with the essence of what's made this game so great for over 100 years. To me, baseball is the best game, and there's no question about it. There is no clock, right? Every team gets 27 outs. You got to get 27 outs to win a game. Everyone gets their at-bat. So Lynn is having a monster year. Yeah, I think Lance Lynn is an interesting possibility. I believe he has one more year of team control on his deal, and he's a guy who has World Series experience. He has that World Series pedigree with the 2011 St. Louis Cardinals, and he's one of my favorite pitchers to watch pitch out there, isn't he? He's a guy that you like to see out there. And look, what the Dodgers have shown with Mookie Betts is when they make a trade, they don't just make a trade always for a one-year rental. They did it with Manny Machado, right? They did it with Yu Darvish. But if you can come to the Dodgers and you can perform and you can show your value and prove your worth, the Dodgers will consider signing you long-term. And I think that depending on I'm pretty much out on Clevenger. The thing about Clevenger is his recent stumbles came this year. His stumbles came this year, and he really betrayed his teammates. And the fact that his teammates were so angry at him, I've always been a fan of Sunshine. I loved his comments on the Houston Astros. But the fact that it's happened recently, and I think that the upside, he's under way more team controls too. So they would probably want more for him. But Clayton Kershaw goes tomorrow for the Dodgers, is 3-1 on the year. His last outing, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, 11 strikeouts on 96 pitches. So King Kersh is going to get the Dodgers back in the win column tomorrow. But here we go. Kobe wants that ring from Train. Laura Livingston, Fernandez. By the way, guys, we've got the Dodgers Dugout podcast. I want you guys all, if you're watching this, to head to iTunes or to head over to wherever you get your podcast, from Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and search Dodgers Nation Dodger Dugout. And we're going to take all of the comments, all of the best comments, all of your takes from tonight's show and put them in there and add some more stuff. Tons of stuff on the Dodgers Dugout podcast, analysis, more takes. So be sure to subscribe. And it usually will come out the very next day. So you basically got your own podcast. So definitely search for that. Hit that subscribe button. And then also be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. YouTube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button. And Harold will you can hear all your comments. And it's a condensed version of it. Edit it up. Throw some stuff in. Throw some post-game reaction from Dave Roberts, whoever the players are. You're going to love it, definitely. I would definitely like to see Josiah Gray called up. Yeah, Josiah Gray, I think he's 1 year away from being a contributor on this team. He's got some great stuff. You saw him in the early summer camp games. He flashed there. I don't think he's quite ready this year, but by all indications, he's a guy that was a major, major fleece job in that Reds trade to get Josiah Gray. I'm done with every other scrub who are barely hanging on. Michelle Carter, never been blocked by someone. I'm honored to get blocked by defending our Dodgers. I like it. Go down with the fight. Think blue, bleed blue. as always. And we got to bring back Tony. Yeah, Tony Gonsolin. By the way, did you see he gave up those 2 bombs to Gavin Lux? Hey, he's still 0.00 ERA. He's still riding his 14 2/3 scoreless innings at the big league level. And you got to give him credit. Look, he's going against the Dodgers, right? He's going against the Dodgers. He's not just going against any team. So only the Dodgers can get hits off of Tony Gonsolin, not anyone else. Or I should say, get runs off Tony Gonsolin. So the Catman will be back. It was a way to get some more arms with, Pedro Baez is out on the IL. Joe Kelly's out. They brought up Josh Spores. So, look, if Julio Urias comes out and our starting staff doesn't go deep into games, they continue to tax this bullpen like they have when it starts, you're going to need them. So, here we go, guys. A couple more of your takes, guys. Let me make sure that there's anything else I want to jump into before we head out here. Yeah. So tonight, just a really wacky game. But we broke it all down. I know it was a lot tonight, but Kenley Jansen gets his first blown save of the year. Like I said, Kenley Jansen was not going to be perfect all year. Superman's cape is not off. He's still promising. The velocity was low tonight. He hung that one. He hit it out. And when he gives up home runs, that is when you start to get a little worried. It's definitely worrisome because when he blows a save, it's usually on a deep fly like the one we saw tonight. So, unfortunately, he didn't have it, but he still got some strikeouts in that inning. And, look, he was going to go Eric Gagne. Eric Gagne, were you guys around to see Eric Gagne? Let me know if you guys saw Eric Gagne, of course, 2002 to 2004. That was one of the greatest experiences at Dodger Stadium. To hear that Welcome to the Jungle, him coming out to some GNR, there was nothing like it at Dodger Stadium. Shout out to Eric Gagne. Yeah, so here we go. Welcome to the Jungle, baby, from Jose Rod. Will Pollock's role be the same in the playoffs, or does it get reduced or get more time? That is from Brandon Rogers. That's a good question. Look, last year, we all know it's been well documented that he struggled. He did not have the best playoffs, the best postseason against the Washington Nationals. 11 strikeouts and 13 at-bats for A.J. Pollock, and he's cooled off a bit after his hot start. A.J. Pollock, his last 7 games, his last 7, he's hit .231. Tonight, A.J. Pollock, he went 0 for 4. So he goes 0 for 4 tonight. So he's 3 for his last 17. He's joining the going through it gang. And he's another guy. He's hitting .310 versus lefties. So there's been a lot made about the Dodgers' inability to hit lefties, and for a good reason. But the Dodgers do have the lineup to hit lefties eventually. I think A.J. Pollock is a guy that you want to keep in the DH spot for a vast majority of the season. Keep him healthy. And I think A.J. Pollock will get hot again. I still have 2 of his game over shirts from Patrick Gagne. Are you related to Eric Gagne in any way? You have one of his shirts. I know you don't have his game over shirts. Yeah, I love that, the game over. I know you don't have one of his hats, by the way, because he only wore like one hat his whole entire career. Man, he spent time everywhere, right? He goes to Boston. He goes to the Rangers. Could never quite find it again, unfortunately. The A's and the Padres look scary from Train. I think the A's are a good squad. The A's are a team we're going to face here in the final stretch of the season. So we'll get to see them with our own eyes and be able to size them up. But they're a team that we could possibly face in the World Series. Pods just lost to Seattle. Yes, Padres are a fun team. Major League Baseball is in love with the Padres. They are in love with the Slam Diego Padres because Fernando Tatis, one of the game's biggest young stars, is on that team. But look, they don't have what it takes to take this division, unfortunately, for San Diego. So I'm not concerned with the Padres. We took care of business. We made a statement at home, and we made a statement with Chris Taylor's big play at the plate. So I'm really more concerned with this Giants team right now. And I know it sounds crazy because the Padres should be a superior team to this Giants team, but some teams have your number, and right now the Dodgers are 3-8 on the season against the San Francisco Giants, despite having an overwhelming advantage when it comes to overall run differential. So we have to figure out this Giants team, and this team needs to take 2 of 3 to end this series to re-solidify our spot. against the Giants, okay? Because, hey, we could definitely face this team in the first round of this 16-team postseason. But here we go, guys. A couple of your final takes. Thanks for rocking with us. You guys burning the midnight oil with us here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show means a lot. By the way, be sure, let me know down below in the comments, are you guys going to subscribe to the podcast, Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout, spelled like my name, by the way, right? I like that, right? Dodgers Dugout, D-O-U-G out, Dodgers Dugout. You're going to hear your comments on the podcast, so keep coming with those fire takes. Makes the pod jack. Jose Rod, RDM. Shout out to Jose Rod. Big thanks, my man. Dunn from Harold. Good times, guys. But, yeah, we're going to wrap things up here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. Another reminder, by the way, if you want to get merched up, go cop some Dodgers Nation gear, the best merch in the game, over at DodgersNation.com/shop. Get geared up. A wacky night up in San Francisco. Unfortunately, Max Muncy, he hit a birthday blast, but the Dodgers don't win one on Max Muncy's birthday, unfortunately. But still, give me a happy birthday to Max Muncy at the end there. His 30th birthday for Max the Funky Muncy. But yeah, thanks again, guys. As always, thanks for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. We're going to be coming back with another live show on Thursday right after the game. Go to DodgersNation.com for all the greatest Dodgers content in the game. You can follow me at DMAC_LA on Twitter and Instagram. That's at DMAC_LA. As always, think blue, be blue. Think blue, bleed blue. And there's nothing that brings us together like Dodgers baseball. And I'm out.